Okay, so I'm going to talk about the guitar parts for Reflections, which is going to be the last song in the demo. I'm just going to jump straight into the main riff and then maybe talk a little bit more about the song itself later. So this is one of those pattern-based riffs that's very prominent on the album. The song's in E minor, like always, and we start on a power chord, basically, and then drop down to the minor third. After that, the G from this minor third, the third of the E minor, becomes the fifth of the next chord, which is going to be the C power chord. That also drops down to the third, C major, which is the diatonic 6 chord in minor. And then after that, the same thing happens again. The third of the C minor becomes the fifth of the next chord, which is an A power chord. Then we have this harmony climb that goes up to a D sus4 that resolves to a D major. So to repeat that. Come around the second time in the intro, instead of going to the D sus4 D major, sort of the happy ending, we instead switch to a B flat 6 to a B power chord. Basically the relative minor, sort of sad ending, if you will. When we get to the actual verses, the song is called Reflections, so that actually flips around.
Yesterday, I thought I heard you saying that you had wanted to leave again. Just last night, I thought I heard you praying. When did you start to believe again?
So we end on major third. My vocals aren't really up for it right now, but we end on major third, which is convenient for transitioning to the secondary riff because unlike the primary riff, again, the song is called Reflections, so everything gets flipped around. Before we were just going down for the most part. Now we're going to start on the minor third of E and then go up. So minor third. The power chord with the 4 as the passing tone, and basically the same thing happens as before but the reverse. This time the 5th becomes the 3rd of the next chord, which is G major. Now we could proceed and play the next chord, a B minor, but instead I reset down to the bottom of the fretboard to give us some more room and a deeper sound. And then finally we end on the D. This finishes on D power chord, which is going to be convenient again because then it just leads us back into the primary riff, the E power chord. So I want to talk a bit about how the riff plays into the actual story of the song. Now, Reflections is about someone who's struggling with multiple personality disorder. They're trying to run away from themselves. This person's physically escaping his own reflection, which causes him emotional distraught. So the riff is meant to be this roller coaster that's just riding up and down constantly, transitioning back and forth. The ending swaying between a major ending to a minor ending. I won't go into too much detail about the lyrics here, but this is just to give you an idea of the interplay between what's going on with music and the lyrics. This isn't just a song that I happened to write paired with random lyrics that I had laying around. So we've gone through the secondary riff. After this, we play through the primary riff again for the second verse, and after this we just play a really long section, basically 4 verses over the secondary riff. But there's nothing new. It's basically exactly the same as I showed you before. After that part, we have one more riff over the primary, one more verse, and then we transition to the clean section, which is what's new. So the chord progression is the same as the main riff. We have the E minor, C major, A to the B. The riff itself, we play the open chords and then we just tack on this first string melody. So the chords are E minor, C major, A sus2, and then B dominant 7. And just give you a closer look of how I play that. I play the E minor with the ring and the middle finger, and I use the pinky for the melody. For the C, I just swap the 2 fingers around, and then I use the index finger to play the F sharp. And then I'm holding this middle finger here on the E, and then I just pull the ring finger up to the A for the A sus2. And then I hop the middle finger down to the B, and then I play the index finger on the, let's see, what is that? B, D sharp, down to this B dominant 7 chord. So after the section, the distortion comes back, and we get to probably my favorite lead section on the album. This is a triple guitar harmony. We have the primary riff from before, same riff, along with the secondary guitar harmony. We have a B and an E, so it's an inverted E power chord, to C and an E, to A and an E, back to B and E, which resolves to B and F. And basically what this is just a reinforcement of the main riff, but on these treble strings. It's just a simple lesson in basic harmonies. We have 2 measures of this, and then we get to the third part, which is the tremolo picked lead. Over the E minor chord, we start on G, down to E. For the C major chord, we start on E, down to D. For the A chord, we start on D, D, C, B, and then for the B chord, we stay on the B to end on the A. If my memory serves me correctly, the first time the lead comes around, it's played, the ending was with the B chord, and the second time the lead comes around, we get the D major ending, so the happy ending. After that, the song basically just starts all over. There's nothing new. We have the verse of the primary, 4 verses of the secondary, and then the outro again. The only thing really of note is that the outro finishes with the minor ending twice, so there is no switch from minor to major or major to minor. We just end on B minor. And actually for the very end, it's with no eighth notes. So yeah, there's no happy ending, but you might interpret the ending as a happy one.